all around. Been locked up for driving 120 through town. I've been shot and cut with a knife, messing around with another man's wife. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys. Threw my boss out the window and got fired from my last job. I acquired a city truck and turned it over in the mayor's yard. Feed my brother-in-law half to death. Lost $20 on his football bet. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys. Good old boys, we're all the same. Ain't no way we'll ever change. Ain't no harm about the things we do, or the trouble that we get into. Other than a wild hair once in a while, we can't help it, it's just our
All right, let's talk. Let's talk about it. Let's make it happen.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wade and Carter Show. Ash Brent, Commander in the corner.
All right, look, Commander Kim. Commander Kim coming in hot.
There's the Commander
Look
Kim.
right there, Commander Kim. His mic's not hot. There it is. There it
For
is.
pennies a day, you can support a commander.
You can adopt a commander. Wade and Carter Weather brought to you by our great friends at AT Deerland Feed. For everything you need, there's Deerland Feed. It's probably time.
It's going to rain this weekend, so you might as well whatever you're going to put down.
Probably
today.
time to put down a layer of Balon. Go by and get the pre-emergent so that 45 days from now, which will be like sometime around
Christmas.
Yeah, then you could put it down again. And then when the spring pops, we get that false spring, and that's always when the grass burrs pop out. 71 degrees in Victoria, Texas, under mostly clear skies, heading to a high today of 86. Let's jump right into something you just brought up that I think is important for you folks to stop and think about.
Just based on observation, I'm noticing a sort of groundswell of support for the two propositions.
I
sitting,
100% support our firemen. What I don't support is an outside organization coming in, taking fees from our firemen to help them negotiate against the city. And while you and I may stand here and say, well, firemen deserve more money, okay, when people come in and negotiate against the city, they're negotiating against you. They're negotiating against your taxes. You are going to have higher taxes in order to deal with, and like Ricky King, great friend, former fireman, and a good one. I'm all about firemen making more money. If that's how you feel, let's get together and do it. It is a lazy person's way for voters in this community to say, well, let's just hire that union to do it. None of you people believe in unions. You know they're bad. They don't need it. You don't need to collectively bargain when you can't strike. What do? Well, we're having a red day. Everybody's going to call in sick.
Ricky King says it's not an outside organization. It's the organization itself that gets to negotiate.
But here's the problem, Ricky.
I
I know that you, of all people, would believe in meritocracy. You don't believe that the guy that scores the highest on the test ought to be the next assistant chief. You believe the guy that the rank and file wants to work with and work for every day is the guy that ought to be the next chief. It's not a committee of three putting together a test. I'm telling you, if Victoria chooses to be lazy and votes for propositions A and B, Victoria will regret it. It will never go away, and Victoria will be stuck with higher taxes. Know it. Understand it. It is the fact. Don't vote for Proposition A and B.
Here's a little bit of the fear mongering that I've sort of whittled through the in between the lines sort of thing, right? Mayor Crocker was on and talking about how there's only so much tax money, right? But therein lies the rub, and the problem is, and I'm not blaming Mayor Crocker on this, we've had such inept leadership in this city that our tax base has not expanded because the city hasn't grown, because there's been no vision. There's been no effort to grow the city. The city is this city has hung its hat on, oh, we got Caterpillar all those years ago. That's good enough.
Yeah, that blows.
And that's the problem. This state at times has had 30% annual population growth, and Victoria 0.2.
No doubt about it. Daniel Bird says, yeah, but it's not about the city. It's about a leadership that doesn't have leadership that supports its first responders. Maybe get rid of the top down to stop the discontent. I will be the first one to say that we joke about dictators and slavery get things done. On one hand, you can say, I'm not happy with Jesus Garza. He's a micromanager and he upsets folks that work for him. On the other hand, I can sure look at a lot of things that are getting done around our city. Strong leadership isn't always popular leadership. But I will tell you, as much as I like Jesus Garza, I would rather see the city fire the city manager than vote a union into our first responder ranks. And he's my friend. That's how strongly I know this is bad for Victoria. Ricky King, other side of the coin, says, Brent, I hate to disagree with you, but you're wrong on this. It's not about money. It's absolutely about money. Okay. It's about bargaining with the city and having some rights. You don't have any rights. You work for the city. You're an at-will employee. That's what you do. You're a fireman. You go over there 4 days, you sleep most of the time, and then you're off 3 days. That's what you do. That's what firemen do. Let's don't lie to each other. Most of the time they're at HEB in a $500,000 truck. Let's don't lie about it. Is it valuable? Yes. Does everybody love a fireman? Yes. Do they need to have a union to negotiate with our city? No. We tried this back in the 2000s and it failed. Ricky says that you have the wrong, I have the wrong information this time. I mean, I'm going to support our firemen either way. When you need a fireman, there ain't nothing like having a fireman. 90% of the time, they're the backup on an EMS call. That's what they do.
There's some of the problems, in my opinion. We send way too many people on calls.
Well, there's certain
police,
rules you got.
Yeah, but why do we? No, you don't have to have.
If
them.
I had the big jammer, 4 police cars and 2 fire trucks, and maybe even an assistant chief would show up. You go, yeah, he did. Did.
Maybe not for you, but a
normal
person.
A normal person. Yeah.
Right.
Not after this rant.
After this,
I was just thinking.
I'm not convinced. Look, if you're a fireman, you're like going, hey, man, whatever they do, as long as it makes me some more money, I'm still working 4 on, 3 off. I don't care. I'd like to make some more money. There is no fireman in the city that says, I want to collectively bargain so I can make less money. I'm willing to make less money just to be able to collectively bargain.
Well, it's interesting because the province of Alberta, where I grew up, the teachers went on strike, right? And they keep saying it's not about money. It's about more teachers aides.
So it's about less work.
More class, more.
Yeah. I want to make more money.
Smaller class sizes, yada, 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 right? But their union apparently donated a lot of money to the NDP, which is the Socialist Party that was in power in Alberta previously. And yet they got none of those concessions from a government that was willing to spend money. And now they're mad at the Conservative government because they're trying to claw spending back because the NDP spent like drunken sailors on a port call. No offense to the sailors, but you know what I mean. And now the Conservatives in Alberta are trying to claw some of that spending back. And they're like, well, we don't have any money. But when it all comes down to it, over the years, the biggest argument the teachers make, well, we haven't had a raise in 12 years. Well, how does that fix the class sizes? How does that get more teachers' aides into the classrooms? How does that do all the things you're saying you need And you know what'll happen, because this is what happens every time there's been a teacher strike in Alberta when they settle it. The class sizes don't change. The teachers' aides don't change. The number of support and resources don't change, but the pay increases.
So let me give you an example. Mike Bloschke, dear friend, great friend, smart guy, fireman. Come on, Brent. Let's hope you don't ever need the services of a fireman. Come ride with me and see what these guys actually do day in and day out. So I'm going to throw this to you. He's right. He's right. I'm wrong. It's the same thing as if I say, hey, guys, if I say to you, hey, fresh donuts, what cars do you think you're going to see there? What do you think?
Mine.
Police cars. No, you see police cars there. It was an exaggeration for effect. But let me tell you, while I'm talking about that, I'll give you two quick ones. And I'm glad Mike Bloschke's still my buddy. He said right here, Texas Standard headline, Houston will likely need tax and fee hikes to pay for firefighters' contract. City officials say. City of Austin, same thing. Like John Paul just said, why would you think you could bring in a third party and not have expenses go up? What I want to remind my buddy Mike Bloschke is he's a volunteer fireman. Stop and think about that. Mike Bloschke doesn't get paid. He's a volunteer fireman.
He should get paid.
Right. He does things to help. He doesn't. Do you need collective bargaining, Mike? I know that sometimes you guys need more equipment. Do you feel like you're better off going and getting a group together and talking to the county, or do you need to take a little bit of the money you don't get and give it to a third party to come negotiate?
They usually get a group together, and it's to go raise money to get that equipment.
Isn't that funny? The volunteer firemen actually are self-sustaining. And yet when they go to a scene, the rank and file, right, don't support them as much as they should. I love firemen.
I've heard some of those rumors.
It's true. I love firemen. That's one of the old adages of life. Everybody loves a fireman. I'm not saying our firemen shouldn't make more money. Maybe they should. I'm not saying that they don't need more equipment. Maybe they do. I'm saying that this microphone over here on camera 3 is wide open. You want to come over and talk to us about it? Come on, we can raise community awareness. But you don't need to unionize in order to do it. What did my brother-in-law, David Ballard, say right back up there a little bit? Up. There you go. Look at the Houston Fire Department on how union and collective bargaining work.
Jennifer Rayburn points out when Austin and San Marcos attempted to repeal, it wasn't because collective bargaining was working for the cities. Looking at other cities operating under those propositions, they are buckling under the contract obligation.
No doubt about it. Now, don't get me wrong. And Jennifer, I mean, I know you would agree as well. Maybe the firemen need to make more money. Maybe things were just that bad. I'm asking you, if you're going to go check the box because I love the firemen, Prop A, Prop B, I'm going to vote for them. Are you ready for your taxes to go up? I'd rather work with the city and find a way for them to maybe cut somewhere else to give money to the firemen cooperatively as opposed to collectively. That's just me. I'm not a union guy. I've always thought of unions being, honestly, sorry, for the ignorant that can't articulate what they need. So they all pool together like a little herd of sheep and they send one ram out there to go. Meh.
They serve their purpose, like I mentioned.
In the 1900s, when
coming out of the Industrial Revolution.
Don't compare firemen to slave labor because they're not.
But
sweatshop labor, they're not.
I mean, you reported last week when I was gone that the average car price in this country is $50,000. Why do you think that is? Because our dollar's been weakened by the government, because our government has propped up pensions that were negotiated by unions that were unsustainable.
True.
And the fact that coming out of COVID, when automakers weren't even working, they then went on strike to make more money.
So what did Ricky King give us? Because he knows. I respect Ricky King on this. He goes, y'all, wait, went too far.
Well, too many people are yapping.
Y'all keep comparing to Houston and Austin. The problem is Houston and Austin agreed to what the bargaining was, and they poorly spent. This money is the reason they're needing to hike taxes for the firemen. Well,
but you don't.
It'll happen here, and they can afford to make more mistakes than we can. Yeah, you don't get one without the other. Brent, the fireman cannot come on your show and talk about it because it's against city policy to do that. That's fair, but you could, Ricky. You could come on and make the case. I think we need to do something. And I've had people from the city reach out to me.
There's some former firemen that I've seen posting stuff on Facebook. Come on out here next week. Come on the show next week. If you're a former fireman that worked for the city, come on.
I'll make the case for you to get more money. The mayor office is right across the hall. I'll make the case for you to make more money. But when I listened to that presentation that was put on at city council, all of the elements that the collective bargaining folks are promising are all already in place at our city. They are there. These things can be implemented together. I just think that putting something permanent in place is bad. Mike Blosky says, I agreed. However, we need these guys. We need to show them some support. I agree on both comments. They are dropping daily. It's hard to see our brothers with many years of experience leave for better pay and opportunities. They have no voice and no one pushing for them. The city manager needs to do something. They are simply tired.
And there's the problem.
That comment in its entirety and say, I agree. It's been my observation. It's what I've heard. I do agree with that. So what? But I don't.
And we've heard that same argument.
So where's
with
the chief?
both of our public protection factions of the city, right? The same disgruntlement with police is basically the same disgruntlement with our fire department.
And isn't it the same in every city? Is there any city in America where they go, I work for the fire department, I got the best job on the planet?
Yeah, that's when they just want more pay and they don't worry about this being heard and being supported by city leadership. They just want more pay because they're happy with everything else. They just feel they're underpaid.
John Paul Hull accurately points out there's only one opening at this time in Victoria Fire Department. It is basically fully staffed. But here is the other side of that pancake, JP, is that they've lost like 48 people over the last 2 years, many of whom were lifelong Victorians who just said, I just can't do it anymore. I've got to go.
Yeah. And the problem is you may only have one opening, but you've lost a lot of experience.
That's right.
And
there's
that,
the key.
And in something like firefighting, there's no substitute for experience. There really is.
No, there's no doubt about it. We know a lot of, I do hope, and I'm saying this publicly, I hope I have not crossed a line with my buddy Mike Blosky, because I have the utmost respect. I've been at Mike's home when the phone rings and he literally has to go. But remember, it is important. He is actually supporting the collective idea when he's a volunteer. I mean, think about it. He's a volunteer. Yeah, and I agree. He says, go look at the average years of service at any of the stations. It's sad.
It is.
No, there's no doubt. It's sad.
And they're at a point where some have gone, some have left, but they're still bringing them back to provide services because they haven't been able to replace them.
Yeah.
But
so, okay.
But anyway, this all just started the conversation because I think this thing might be closer than I think the city thinks it's going to be.
And I'll tell you,
there's a large faction out in the community that I've talked to that said, you know what? If the city's this against it, it's got to be worth voting for.
Well, there you go. But I'm looking at a guy like Dwayne Crocker, who is a local guy. He's a family guy. He's an attorney here in town. And he's just like, Brent, there's just no way to deal with these people. You know, Arthur O'Brien, our buddy OB out in Sacramento, says, my father did 46 years as a Boston firefighter.
Two ways.
He was constantly underpaid.
Two ways to deal with this. Grow the tax base and streamline what we fund. Think about the effort we put into COVID, into that business loan program or whatever the grant thing. One loan,
you know, and all those. Do you remember all those?
I wonder how much money that company made that was paid to oversee it. If they made any money off that, or because there was only one loan. That
You
was all
remember
they
all
were paid.
those city leaders that it was just gag me. Just gag me with a spoon. All
What
those
did someone
city
say?
leaders that signed off on that letter. And it was just, I remember
Well, we have to do
we
something.
have to do something.
Somebody said.
Idiots. These were all the muckety mucks in town signed off on this letter. I support this program. Bunch of self-serving ne'er-do-wells. Idiots.
But, well, I mean,
One loan, which I think was repaid. I don't know.
where's the rest of that money? Did it ever come back to the city, or is it sitting there waiting for the next people to finally get their paperwork in order and submit? I don't know.
I want the firemen to make more money. I want the firemen to have all the resources they need. Firemen are.
I want them to
clearly
feel like they're
underpaid.
being heard. That's
I
part of
want
the
them to feel like
problem
they're
here.
being heard too, but I don't think that you don't. So,
But I don't know that a union is going to make them heard, or a commission is
That's
going to
right.
make them heard, because they're still going to go to the city. And if you've got a roadblock somewhere in the way on that communication, it's still going to exist.
that's right. So there's Gilbert Ramon. He is in Okinawa, Japan, where his son and daughter-in-law both serve in the United States Marine Corps, and he's gone to see his grandbaby. How cool is that? So good morning in Okinawa, my brother.
Joel Gomez says they're leaving for both pay and work. When you're getting 12 to 13 calls every 24 hours and you're the most underpaid in Texas, then yes, they are.
Okay, so Joel, that's my question. I mean, I don't disagree. What if we found a way to relieve them of having to go on all those BS EMS calls? I mean, it costs $500 to start that big rig up, and then you get like 3 or 4 guys in there, and then they go to HEB on the way back.
I'm having chest pain, so that means
Here
we
come
got to
the
send.
firemen.
That means we got to send a police car and firemen with the EMS.
Zed Stewart with Hold Your Calls. We have a winner. The most unpopular comment of the day. If all the firefighters everywhere are underpaid, are they really underpaid, or are they paid the going rate? I don't know. Does anybody know any public servant anywhere who goes, oh, not me, man. I'm kidding me.
Does
I'm
anybody
flush."
anywhere feel that they're not being underpaid?
Right.
Not on this show.
Right. Yeah. No, not you. You're satisfied.
Oh,
Nothing from
okay.
nothing leaves nothing. I don't understand. I mean, there are reasons like back in the day, there were reasons people wanted to be school teachers, right? Well, you get 3 months off. You only work 180 days a year. Of course, that's kind of evolved. Let's see this is
It's a
called.
calling.
See who's over there. Let's see if we're on road. Hang on. Yeah, I'm not connected. Hang on. Just hang on, caller. Hang on. Because we definitely want the call. See if it connected. Hey, there you are. Good morning. Hello.
Hello, Wade and Carter.
Hey, good morning.
Hey.
Hey, good morning, guys. This is Adam.
Hey, Adam.
Hi, Adam.
Hey, just going to let you know I'm a big supporter of the fire department and first responders. I had a friend that worked over at Houston Fire Department for like 30 plus years. And I'm not saying that one is less than the other, but I find it very significant that when Mayor Sylvester, I don't know his last name,
Turner.
he leaned one way or another. He was not with the firefighters, but they over there were underpaid. And they were treated very badly. Not saying the city of Victoria will do that, but there is a little bit of, when it comes to the firefighters, I believe that there's something that needs to be looked at. And like you were saying, is that the going rate for around the country? But it definitely needs to be looked at and investigated and, looked into to find out what the root cause could be and how we could go about fixing it. If a lot of people are having to leave and move on and all that experience that we're having is having to leave Victoria.
That's a
And
solid thought.
especially being in the military, when you leave and you're having someone who's got 20 plus years experience and they're having to leave and retire and move on, and you got someone new's coming in, now you're taking a chance of having a big, huge liability of someone who's less trained and less experienced, and being able to mentor those junior individuals and being able to bring them up to that level in which will make them a great asset for both themselves in the city and the community as well.
Absolutely.
100%.
Thank you, Adam.
Thanks for
Appreciate
the
that
call,
call.
brother.
It's that easy, folks. 361-894-4020. If you want to give us a call, we appreciate that.
So here's my thought. In the same breath that I tell you, I feel like awareness has been raised. I feel like, and from my research, I've seen that all of the promises that the union is making, those systems are already in place. I am leery about losing the meritocracy. I just don't think it's going to be very long before some of the current firefighters go, I applied for that job, but I only made a 92 on the test. And even though all my coworkers told me to apply for the job because they like working with me and they think I could be an asset, the job went to Billy because he made a 95.
Doesn't our police department already have a test similar to that? Like if you want to make detective, don't you have to test out?
Probably. But I mean, I don't know if there's one detective spot, there's nothing wrong with having to take a test, but the test just shows if you're qualified, right? You still may be chosen based on merit. Ricky King adds, last year, the city lost 30 firefighters, and we lost probably 100 years of experience because we lost at least 10 firefighters that had 10 years experience. Now we have people that have 1 year experience driving fire trucks.
I'm curious.
I don't disagree.
But
the union's not going to fix that.
Well, yeah, I mean, is it money? Is it burnout? Are they getting tired of being away from their families?
I think it's a lack of feeling heard. I think that there's a problem that these folks don't feel like their voice matters. It does matter here. And again, I am in no way suggesting that the firefighters are being unreasonable with their wants. But when their wants become demands via a union, which is what this is, then you're going to see your taxes go up. So there you go. So if you're ready to deal with that, why not just get together and vote to raise your taxes? Why do we need to give the firemen a union?
Mike Blasky says simply city management. They're dissatisfied.
They're dissatisfied with city management. You know, I used to have a buddy that ran a hospital. And he told me one day on the golf course where he was relaxed, he said, and
you weren't because you were duck hooking it into the woods.
I was having problems. He goes, I got too many nurses. I go, what do you mean? He goes, I've got too many nurses. He goes, I've got to do something about it. And I said, okay. I mean, why? It seems like the hospital's running pretty smooth. He said, if nobody's complaining, I've got too many nurses. I need a nurse representative coming in and saying, sir, we're overworked. Sir, it's too many hours. It's too much stress on my team. If that's not the case, I've got too many nurses. That's the way management thinks. Management is thinking about money. And Jesus Garza, I don't ever speak for Jesus, but I think he would be very quick to tell you that our city gives him a lot of pushback on anything that resembles an increase in taxes. I mean, I'm honestly at the point where I'm like, if you people are that worried about it, have a bake sale. I'm not joking. Mike Blasky works tirelessly for the Quail Creek Volunteer Fire Department raising money. Does the city of Victoria ever do anything like that for our local firemen? Is that even legal? Can you raise $100,000 and give it to the fire department? I don't know. But I know that the city is listening. I do know that. And I do know that the pieces are in place to allow the city to give more money to the firemen.
Well, yeah, no. Joel Gomez is not with the paid department.
There you go.
And Ricky King brings something up, but this is a problem that has really been exacerbated since Obamacare and insurance premiums going up. I tend to agree. I think if I remember, and maybe it's changed, I don't know that our county employees and our city employees have very good insurance.
Now,
And I don't know
the
why that is
county
when you've
employees
got it.
probably a little bit better because they have a self-funded plan that allows them to go straight to citizens and do things. One of my, I'm just because it's been 8 years or however long it's been. It was so long ago that it doesn't matter. But one of the things that I promoted at the time was that the city and county get together and merge on healthcare and allow even select city employees, fire department, PD, to share in the county's health program. The idea would be at the time you had John McNeil, Diana Galvan, that they had a depot out there by Schrader. You could come in either minimal or no copay, whatever. If you were a county employee, bring your baby in and to the county hospital, and it was part of the program. Hello, there's JP. You there, brother?
Hey, Ash, how are you today?
Good. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I had a question for you guys.
Yeah.
So they don't mention this, I don't think, in either of the A or B, but it is going through the third party, right?
Yes,
it's going
correct.
Through it's going through the, I forget what it's called, like the Texas firefighters.
To some kind
collection.
of association. They don't call it a union, but that's what it is.
Yeah, and I think it's part of the International Association of Firefighters, and there's a Texas chapter of that. But it's Texas lawyers that ultimately are doing the collective bargaining. So somebody's got to pay those, whether it's
That's right.
the unions or the city or the firefighters or raise taxes, right? I mean, I'm just making sure they're inserting a third party to do their negotiation for them instead of going directly with their own firefighters. Am I understanding that right?
I think so. As I understand it, there's going to be a new layer of bureaucracy inserted that somebody miraculously thinks isn't going to cost any money. You're going to bring
Right.
you're going to have a committee. It's got to be appointed. They've got to have staff. It's going to cost. It may not cost millions, but it's going to cost money that could go to the firefighter.
Well, and those lawyers aren't going to work for
No. Now, Jennifer Rayburn points out that they have had their salaries increased and pensions protected, and they've been given, it says,
the only commitment to a step merit review program every 2 years.
Yeah.
So they've made that commitment to them that maybe they haven't made to the police department and others haven't. I'm assuming that's what she means.
They should do that. My beef is that adding a new layer in just is going to add cost. And
Right. Jennifer says the expense of administrative support alone with additional separate workloads for existing or separate support staff is what concerns her.
Yeah, I'm guessing that they take it out of firefighter union fees is where
Right.
some of that comes out of.
Well, and
So
where
the
does that
firemen are gonna pay-
where does that come out of? That comes out of their paycheck. So if they don't
Exactly.
get a pay raise, and those union dues are $100 a month
They can't
for
break
every
even.
fireman,
Yep.
they're losing $100 if they don't get a pay raise equal to that $100 a month.
Joe Gomez says we were given a 3.3 increase in pay, but later raised our insurance 4.2%. And sadly, I say, well, welcome to the workforce. I mean, that's happening to everybody across. It's not discriminatory where somebody's picking on firemen.
And that's
And-
not really the city's fault, is it? That's
No.
because they're not getting any better. Maybe the city needs to hire a union to negotiate better insurance rates. I don't know.
Right. Junior Samples, JP says a 3-person commission will be in control of the fire department and do collective bargaining against the city at taxpayer expense. We have to pay their salaries.
And I think they're attorneys, right? So
That's
it's
right.
not going to be $20 an hour.
No doubt. There's nothing that government gets involved in that doesn't cost somebody money, and they never make
Right.
anything more efficient. The firemen are better off negotiating with me and letting
No,
me
they're-
go talk to the mayor and go talk to Jesus Garza than they are
The
paying.
fire chief should just do it himself.
He should ball up, shouldn't he? I don't even know who the fire chief is these days. He
I mean,
should
that's
walk
what I
in
would
there
do.
and say, I want to help you, but I need your help right now.
Kelly
Yeah,
Fromm,
let's say-
Kelly Fromm says
let's
all
say
businesses
these
are looking
fees.
at about a 10% increase on health insurance costs next year.
Yeah, all businesses. Sure, everybody's insurance goes up. We've been paying for illegals in this country for so long.
Those darn insurance agents are just
That's
worthless.
right. Yeah. Money, money, money.
No, I was looking at these numbers. The other places that have done collective bargaining, Houston, 1.5 billion back pay settlement for 650 million. San Antonio, 109.6 million, duration 3 years.
Wow.
That all went collective bargaining. Yeah, I mean,
Well,
I hope they get paid as much as they can.
I do
hate that
too.
they're-
I just don't think that a union is the way to do it.
I hate that we're adding a fee, and that from everybody I've talked to, it sounds like you can't ever get back out of it. I mean, I know technically you can, but
Yeah,
it's
supposedly
really
it's a cycle, but and I haven't seen a city yet. I haven't read, and it doesn't mean that there aren't some. I've gotten numerous articles, Austin, Houston, places that are like, oh man, I wish we wouldn't have gone down this toilet. But I've never had anybody go, oh man, since we in Carrollton turned over our fire department to the collective bargaining, things are just rosy. Taxes have gone down, health insurance is free. It's Shangri-La. No fires either. I haven't heard that either. JP, thanks for the call,
Appreciate
brother.
the call, man.
So
Wow,
Ricky
it's
King
two.
says
One
a
more.
lot of-
We set a record.
He says a lot of people are leaving to the same size departments. They were captains and lieutenants and making more money, starting as a
Tow board.
and they get free health insurance for them and low health insurance for their family. That's why they're leaving. I mean, I'm all for
But how does a commission fix that? How does a union
the union can't fix that.
fix that?
But I tell you what, I'm all for giving, if you've been there 5 years, you get free health insurance. I got no problem with that. I know what it costs. I've got no problem with that. That's cheaper than paying a union. When you get 5 years and you get free health insurance, for some people, that'll keep them there.
Let's just drop the pay so they're all on Medicare and then they get free insurance.
Oh, by the way, we're going to also institute
Being
a physical training program, and we're going to have quarterly fitness tests to make certain that you're healthy. We're going to have a really fit, good-looking fire department if I'm going to give you free health insurance. I like that. Yep. Daniel Bird says, on another note, how about that White House demo? They blinked and Donald Trump tore down the whole building. I love it, actually. It's great. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it's gone. No, it's gone now.
Not the whole White House, just the
No,
East
just
Wing.
the East Wing.
And here's the funny thing: the left hates Melania Trump. Now they're defending her office.
She doesn't even have an office anymore. She's in New York.
I was like, she's not
Come
there.
on.
No, it's just
Take the break for a second.
Dallas Bingo, where friends meet friends. We were there last night meeting friends, and that's all we did because for I think only the third time in 3 years,
History.
more or less, we did not have a winner from the Wade and Carter ticket.
I'm just glad I didn't
Disappointing.
waste my time.
You wouldn't have wasted your time. We still had a good time. We just didn't have a great time because nobody won. But we'll be back there next month. Certainly, it might be sooner rather than later because of
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. Yeah. Or maybe it'll be the post Thanksgiving.
Maybe Thanksgiving Day.
No,
That's a Thursday.
No.
If I'm not coming,
Although
it
I did
doesn't
hear,
matter to
I
me.
did, well, yeah, you don't show. So, although I did hear the promos, and apparently they're having quite the Halloween party at Palace Bingo next week. So there you go. USA Concrete Coatings. Give Charlie Garcia and the gang a call and get your drab slab transformed into something slabulous.
Ooh,
You
slabulous.
like the puns?
I do.
Very punny this morning. Veracruz Restaurant. Today's the last day to get in this week. This used to be Chicken Fried Friday, and it still is technically, but now the Chicken Fried Steak's available all week. I mean, I ruined Chicken Fried Friday by giving it to you, giving the people what they want every day. That's what Veracruz does, except Caldo. You can only get that on Wednesdays. Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. Give Allen a call. Our go-to Toto. They should be your go-to.
If you need him, call him. Alan does the best. I agree with Ricky King, and this is where this comes from. Some of this, Brent. When I started, they promised me health care for the rest of my life with no payments. Now I pay half my retirement to health care insurance to the city of Victoria. It's just worth noting that had nothing to do with current city administration. And I am 100%, in summary, I am 100% in favor of our firemen making enough money that they don't want to leave. I'm even willing to absorb a tax increase to provide that. I don't think the means to that end is signing over the keys to the Ferrari to a union. Is that fair? Can we all agree on that? If I acquiesce that, hey, firemen need more money, I'm hearing what you're putting down. I got it. Everybody's expenses go up. I get it. The city ought to compensate for that. If the city has to raise taxes to do that, so be it. Even though my own health insurance goes up, my own cost of living goes up, I want our firemen to be healthy and happy. I do. To the point that I'm willing to absorb a proposed tax increase, but not because it's forced down my throat by a third party. There's Ricky King. Hang on, brother. There you are. Hello, my friend.
How are you doing today?
We're good.
I'm
We're
great.
good.
Could you work with that? Could you work with, we have a tax increase that we vote upon as a city rather than turn all this over? Because what I'm hearing, Ricky, is that the firemen collectively don't feel like they have a voice at City Hall. Without
Correct.
any judgment, maybe they need a new chief. They got
No,
a voice
it's not
right
that.
here. Got a voice right here. I'll fight for them.
But they can't, Brent,
Why?
because the city policy says they can't come on a show like that unless they clear it through the chief and the city manager or Jesus Garza to come on that show and speak anything about the city because they're at-will employees.
True story. Okay, but
So,
can't the fire chief could go to city council meetings? Well, I guess you might get fired.
Well, here's the problem. And I did this for 20 years. I've been around the fire department for over 30 years. And the city always comes out when we go for the collective bargaining and civil service. And the same thing the mayor said is that, they believe it or not, they have a council that counsels that goes against fire department and civil service. And what you got from Crocker was exactly what he was told to say by their association. Believe it or not, they got an association too that deals with this stuff. And they were told exactly what to say. There's a deal that they can go to that'll tell them exactly how to defend against civil service and collective bargaining. The city has always came out and promised, we'll give you a raise. It's great to tell us we're going to give the fire department a raise. But the problem is they give them a raise and it's over the next 4 years, but they never fund the raise after the first year or two. It's been going on for years. Every time we get monies to get us to where we need to be against other cities, the same comparable to our size, the city turns around, they do it for 1 year, try to get us caught up. They don't fund it. And then it goes to, then we start losing again. They want to get civil service and collective bargaining so that the fire department has a say in what the city does. They have to stand behind what they do or they face consequences. Now the city can come out and go, we're going to do this and we're going to do this and we're going to do this. And next year the city council goes, we're not going to fund any of that. So we're not doing any of that. And yes, we do have nice equipment and nice stations, but that doesn't pay the firefighters grocery bills, the nice stations and the nice trucks.
That's right. Linda Chris says a promise never kept is nothing more than a lie. So I'll ask you this. Has that been a problem under our current city manager?
Yes. They literally tried, Brent, to give the firefighters a raise by taking money away from their retirement and not giving the retirees. We were guaranteed a raise as we go by what PMRS says. They were going to take the raise again. They were going to take money out of retirees' pockets and not give them their raise to pay the firefighters that are here today.
Yeah, this was the robbing Peter to pay Paul type of thing that the city was trying to get away with. I remember that one.
Yeah.
And then I think there was enough backlash they didn't do it.
Yeah. even the firefighters that were on duty, and you keep saying it's about money, it's about money. It's not about money. It's about having rights and something to stand by, because firefighters can't strike to start with.
Right.
They can't do anything. We have a firefighter and police. I'll add the police into it, because what people don't understand is if we get civil service and collective bargaining, PD is going to ride on our coattails and get the same thing.
You know they will. And I think that's a big concern.
I know they will, because that's just how it is.
Here's what I would share. You and I couldn't be better friends. I'm seeing the other side of the pancake from you. There are two sides to every pancake, and I'm glad that you called, because it does give us the opportunity to show people, hey, we're willing to listen to everybody's opinion. I don't want you to feel like, I'm, belittling anybody, because I just have a fundamental issue with unions. And then my question would be, is there a way to solve this problem without taking a permanent solution in the form of collective bargaining and, civil service status?
But the civil service has rules. That's the biggest thing they want, is rules, hard set rules that say the city can do this, this, and this, and you can fire people for this, this, and this. And again, sometimes the rules aren't that great, and I'll agree with you on that. Some of the stuff isn't as good as it should be, but we're will employees, like you said, and we can't do anything. The chief and the city manager and the mayor, they can go and do anything they want. They can go to tomorrow and go, okay, all these tailboards that have been here a year, you're all captains now. They have that right. They can literally do that and tell all the captains, y'all are now tailboards. They can move our positions around any way they want, and they can go. Granted, one time they were looking at going, okay, what we're going to do is everybody's the same in the department. There'll be a captain on each shift and a battalion chief on each shift, but everybody in the ranks are the same.
Socialism.
There's no captain. There's no lieutenants. There's no engineers. Right. There's no tailboards. Everybody's the same. You ride wherever you're put that day, and they can do that because, like you said, we're at will employees.
Well, I think we have to protect you guys, and I think the way to do it, personally, is as a city. I think awareness is a key thing, so here would be, if I had a fallback position, it would be this. I promise you, if these two propositions don't pass this time, I promise you, they could be on the ballot again in the next cycle. Maybe we should just take a reset and say, all right, now because I'm perfectly willing to monitor this continuously. And with the understanding that I am pro fire department.
I know you're pro.
All right, so my deal is, before we go jump off the cliff to a permanent solution, what if we had a reset and give the city, give this administration, because I've also had conversations, as has Ash, with Dwayne Crocker, who was adamantly committed to solving this problem. Is that the feeling you got from Dwayne?
Yeah, I think but as Ricky pointed out, the robbing Peter to pay Paul solution was not a very good solution, and that's the one that the city wanted to go with. I think, well, they put it out there. What was it? One of 3 different solutions, but that was the one they were trying to hope they would get to.
Right. Junior Civil says, so create policy, not collective bargaining.
Let me ask you this, Brent. Let me ask you this.
Okay.
Who's the mayor after Dwayne Crocker?
Not me.
No, I'm asking that. Who do you think? I mean, and that's an honest question, because if you don't know who the mayor is, they can change policy tomorrow.
But they can
do what they want to. But if you have collective bargaining, the city manager and the mayor cannot change policy on the people.
Well, the mayor can't anyway on his own, because he's one of 7, or she's one of 7 on that dais, or what is it, right? But the city, I mean,
city council.
We're a weak mayor system that basically is led by the city manager. Here's the one thing this has done. It's raised awareness to some of the issues. This Chief Young resigning, it's raised awareness to some of the issues that are at City Hall.
Yeah, but, you keep saying, well, the fire chief doesn't care either. The fire chief's in the back pocket of the city manager. I mean, I had a friend of mine, I'm not going to say any names. He worked for the fire department for 25 years. And he went in because they put him in a position that was supposed to be temporary. They put him in that position, and he said, hey, this is killing my home life. This is killing this. You have this position open. Can I get out of this position and get into this position because this was supposed to be temporary till y'all hired somebody? That chief told him, basically, you know, he gave him three different options. Hey, can I do this, this, or this? And that chief basically told him, you better go look, you better take the other job that you're looking for because none of this is going to happen.
Right.
This guy had 20 plus years in the department. And
Yeah, I
he
hate
just told
that.
him, see him. And then
yeah,
we lost lieutenants and captains to go as firefighters to like Missouri City and all that. And it wasn't because of the money. Some of it was, of course, but they went there because they had better insurance plans for the firefighters. They had better benefits for the firefighters. And it wasn't about the money, how much money we're making. It's about benefits and how, everybody's about money. I don't care what you do. You're about money, Brent, because you sell insurance. And if you don't sell insurance, you don't make any money.
oh, I'm a straight up whore. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And I don't have anybody to collectively bargain for me. I got to go make something happen. And I know that's different for a fireman. So no,
because they don't have a voice. They can't say nothing. All they can do is sit there and hope the chief is in their best interest to the city manager. And that's all they have. And when it comes down that the firefighters are going to do this or the firefighters are going to do that, we're going to start doing this.
Well, but do you need an actual?
There's no rules.
Do you need voters, Ricky? Do you need voters to actually formulate that voice? But with Proposition A and Proposition B, couldn't you get together?
Yes,
couldn't the firefighters all get together underneath the chief and en masse go to city council?
They're not going to. The chief's not going to. I'll tell you right now.
No,
the chief will not stand up for the firefighters.
I'm not advocating for that. Could not the firefighters, the brothers and sisters that are in the station house every day, could they not get together on an off day and go to city council and say, here's the problem, and here's 100 other people sitting in this room that all agree this is the problem. Let's find a way to fix it. You don't need a union for that.
No, because the city will not let you do that. You can't go speak in front of the city council as a firefighter.
But if you're on your time
it doesn't matter. You have no time. They can fire you because you post something on the internet, on Facebook about the city or something. They can fire you for that.
Yeah, so see, here's something to think about. Like Jennifer Rayburn says, so if the fire chief doesn't care, how will he be removed if his own job is protected by the same collective bargaining protection? You can't just fire the chief.
He's not. You have to understand the collective bargaining stuff doesn't affect the chief officers. This is all for the firefighters, all the people that are in the bottom. They have their own, the chief and all the chiefs have their own association that they deal with. The part that people aren't understanding is all the collective bargaining does is allow the firefighters, the workers, it allows them to have some kind of stability, some kind of rule that says, hey, this is what you can't just change the rules as you see because a new chief came in, or a new city manager came in, or a new mayor came in. You can't change the rules.
There ought to be a way for the city to adopt a policy, though, that mandates that without a union. Because we're for it.
Listen to me. You have to have some kind of rules. You can't just say we're going to adopt a policy, because if you adopt a policy, what's to say the next city manager or the next city mayor doesn't like what the policy is and they adopt a new policy?
What happens if we adopt a union?
You see that in Washington all the time. They sign executive orders, and the other president doesn't like that executive order, so he signs that one.
But the city council can't sign executive orders.
So what happens if you assign all your leverage to a union and they choose to implement something that the rank and file doesn't love? Then you still have rules, but now they're giving Ricky, hey, we got to run. Thanks for the call. We love you, brother. Ricky. And Tammy Williams sums it up. She says, this unfortunately has been going on for years. Firefighters need solutions now. I watched similar situations happen with the Victoria County Sheriff's Office until we got a pro-deputy sheriff. That would be Justin Marr, who cares more about the lives of the officers. May have also been T. Michael O'Connor. But, I mean, back in the day, I know that's, Justin came from being a street deputy. I think I saw Sheriff Ladderback check in. We could get his opinion at some point on collective bargaining. The brother man's here. Let's get him in the house.
Brother man in.
Let's
We'll
take a
it.
second while
Yeah.
we do that. Went Services, Went Electrical for all your electrical needs. Went Services wants you to have everything you deserve. You don't even need a union for that. Give them a call. Went Services today. Atzenhofer indiscriminatorily will sell anybody a car at the same price. You don't have to be elected. You don't have to be a chief. You can be a rank and file guy and make a great deal on a Chevrolet today. Chesnick Furniture. Chesnick and Love make your house a home. Get by and see why you just always do better at Chesnick. Did you talk about white trash?
Not yet.
550-1826.
If you're in the
White
county or
Trash
the
Services.
surrounding counties, give White Trash a call. They can be your trash
They love you.
provider.
The First State Bank of Louise Astros update. We're going to get the Astros and sports update from the brother man, Parvita Wellness, and the Vita Cafe. No Show Briggs is going to come in next week. She's going to come in, and she's going to come in and promote what's going on tonight. Is it tonight?
No, it was last night.
Last night.
But next
We promoted
Thursday,
it.
Stephanie Ross will be at Power Vita playing on the patio.
She's great.
Yeah.
She's great.
What do you make, since quickly First State Bank Sports, what do you make of this huge NBA betting scandal?
We'll get the brother man on that. Brother, put it on the spot.
Well,
Were you just collecting the juice on that deal?
no,
Or
it's poker. We don't know anything about
some of that, did you know
We
they
don't
were
know
doing,
anything about
they
that.
said that there were cards, Ash, that had like barcodes on.
Yeah, they had, it's intense.
And this reaches into the mob
Yeah,
and some mobsters that were just released from prison who are now
I don't know
facing
about
more
that.
federal
And
charges.
I thought a lot of Chauncey
The
Billups.
NBA, I thought a lot of Chauncey too, but
Yeah,
for the FBI to indict him, like he's
Oh, yeah.
the tip of the spear. Patrick Strauss comes in and says, Aggies probably take their first loss this week.
I don't know,
Death Valley is a tough place to win on the road. I think the Aggies win.
Brent. I do too.
I think the Aggies win that game. I do.
LSU's
Strauss.
going to be tough at home, but they can win.
You know why? Because their coach sucks. Brian Kelly is
He's
a
not going to be
pud.
there after this year.
No,
I
he's
got
done.
I got a mission. I have to say this. Colonel Mike and Ron Cozen sent me in to make sure you know this is Warriors weekend. They're
Fantastic.
coming in today. They're leaving Houston at 8:30. He wanted me to get the word out that they'll be arriving at the Parkway Church at 2:00 this afternoon. We'll have a ceremony over there. They're going to leave about 3:45. Get on Navarro Street. They're coming down Mockingbird. They go on Navarro and get out there and root them on. They're going to be heading over to the bar.
Hotels are packed this weekend. Heard
Yes, sir.
yesterday that there's not a hotel room to be found.
I was on a mission, so I needed to say that. That is today. They got about 250 of them coming in.
Good.
Okay, there you go. Now, the other thing is bad business. I love my sports. I don't want that to mess up my sports.
Right. Absolutely.
Texas, 6.5 point favorite. Can they win?
Play Missouri.
Mississippi State.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
beat Mississippi State.
I think they do better than that. Yes, he did, Junior.
Texas A&M is a favorite over LSU, 2.5.
Yeah, the Aggies win. I think both Aggies and Longhorns.
I don't
win.
think either game will be as close as the spreads.
What do you think?
Jonathan
I think the
Williams.
spreads are close because of the betting scandal. It's a fallout.
Yeah.
Jonathan Williams says
Look
if
at you, Ash.
Aggies win, they roll into UT undefeated. I think there's a real good chance of that. Of course, they'll beat Samford. Who else do they play? South Carolina.
They should win those two easy.
I just don't think, even though I honestly think that A&M has a better team this year, I don't believe they can beat Texas in Austin. I just don't.
Texas is going to be up. If
I mean,
you're ever up for a
admittedly,
game,
I'm a homer. Admittedly, I'm being a
if
homer.
you're
here.
ever up for a game, that's the
Oh,
one
yeah.
to be up for.
Yeah, and it's the first time back since what, 99 or something. It's a big deal. It's a big
You
deal.
think we have something to look forward to?
Yes, sir. I
Okay.
think Texas wins that game.
I'm hoping.
What else is going on this weekend,
Well,
brother?
you got the World Series. You got the World Series.
Toronto
starts
and the
today.
What I think the Dodgers win this thing in 6.
What do you think,
Toronto, I think
baseball
Toronto has a
guys?
chance.
Okay.
I think Toronto has a chance, but it's going to be a good. Actually, these are the two teams you wanted. Of what 4 were left over, these are the ones you wanted.
Don't the Dodgers have
No, I
like,
wanted the Astros. I don't care
Well,
who's
no, but-
left over.
but
can't the Dodgers
they're-
find a way?
They
Don't
weren't
get
there,
like-
Ash.
Don't they get to pick up like Nathan Eovaldi and Justin
Yeah.
Verlander for the World Series? I mean, everything
Yeah.
else seems to go
They
their
can
way.
pick somebody off the Blue Jays who isn't playing that day
Yeah.
to play for them.
Shohei Ohtani will go out and strike out the side and then hit a bomb in the bottom of the inning.
What did he do that
Unbelievable.
did?
He's
3
just-
home runs, struck out 10.
That's a big Asian, brother, man.
That's
That's
a
a big Asian.
big
I'm
boy.
telling you, that's a big
I think
kid.
he'll
He's
be
a
the
good-
most valuable player.
I think he's a
Yeah.
first ballot Hall of Famer. I think he's almost undeniably if he can keep it going, he's got to be
Him
the
and
only
Judge.
other unanimous
Right?
choice ever.
Those two are the top of their field. And the Astros, I'm going to believe. Now, I hope I'll be listening to you guys are coming back next
I think
year.
they're going to be fine.
Yeah.
I think Fromber's going to go. I believe Hunter Brown will be a Dodger by this time, by the beginning of the season.
I'm backing you up, boys. I'm backing y'all up. I'm listening to you.
I don't want him to go, but I know that
Is he
Jim
a free
Crane's
agent?
not going to spend what he's going to want. No, he's not a
Or
free
even
agent.
Fromber?
They've wasted time. They should have traded him long ago. I think they're going to trade him to somebody.
And Bob didn't win last night. I
No.
thought I saw him. I
Was
thought
Bob
he'd win.
there? I'm glad Bob was
He
there.
was there.
He might have won a pull tab, but nobody won bingo.
Nobody won bingo. Okay, that's what I was asking.
There
Him.
you go. Hey,
All
it's
right.
the top of the hour. You're off to Magic 95.9 to hang
Heading
out
over
with
there.
Ralph, Hall of
Yeah.
Famer Salazar.
We're there.
You know, I just want to make a note, Ash. Ralph wasn't a Hall of Famer until he started hanging out with the brother man.
Right.
True story.
They compliment each other. Y'all go have a great day. Have a great show.
Thank you
Folks,
very much.
have
God
a great
bless.
weekend. Look,
Bye bye, everybody.
be prayerful about these propositions. They're long-term effects. Bye, folks.
Bye,
Love
folks.
y'all.